Hi, my name is Kristen. I am known as R&B Lee on Instagram and Tumblr, and I'm Kristen Chan 14 on deviantart. These will be listed at the end of the video. Anyways, today I'm here to show you how to draw anime things. Not really the style, but more like the anatomy or like the basic things you should know if you are planning to learn how to draw anime. So I just want to put out there that this isn't the only way you can do anatomy, it's just the way that I do it. I don't know if other people do it, and I hope they do, because that makes me feel a little bit less weird. So going with very basic things like body anatomy, face anatomy, and hair and eyes, which are basically everything you really need to know if you're going to draw something. So also English isn't my best subject, it's actually science, so I make a lot of spelling errors. So starting with body anatomy, if you looked at art books or tutorials online already, you probably saw this thing. I don't know what it's called, but I'm gonna call it a block person because it's made out of blocks. So every circle except for the head is a joint, and you know where your parts bend and stuff. So these little brackety things show the head's size in proportion to the rest of the body. Notice that at every intersection of lines, or every horizontal line, something interesting happens. For example, the third horizontal line is where your waist is. In total, the person is 7.5 heads tall. So, going on with that kind of idea, a couple rules. Your belly button or your waist lines up with your elbow. You can actually check it now, just put your elbow to your side. And also your shoulders are parallel to your legs most of the time, and your waist caves in, if it's hourglass. Depends on body shape, but that's about it. Now we can go on to poses, and it's good to do poses because you don't want all your characters to stand in the same position. So here I'm just doing a very rough sketch of a person, and we'll get into detail about it. I'm sorry it's not really proportionate, but you know, get the idea. So these 4 lines, they're very important. They show the direction in which the person is facing or looking in. So you can try to use these dynamic arrows. I don't really know what they're called, but they make the person kind of interesting to look at. So there's one that goes up and one across the chest. This pose is kind of like outie. It's like convex. And this one that I'm drawing right here is like a concave because it's almost like they're like a clam. I don't know how to say it. Or like a lobster tail where it kind of caves in. You know the part of the lobster you cut to eat the meat? Yeah, like that. Anyways, you'll see that their little red lines, those dynamic arrows, are the exact opposite. So comparing, here I actually drew them for you. And yeah, they're opposites. Great, isn't it? So generally these 2 lines kind of say different things, and they're usually the same idea. So this convex outie shape usually conveys a person is confident, happy, outgoing, and open, because it's literally open. Their chest is like poof. But then here we have a closed, scared or on guard person. Like if you're talking to a stranger and you think they're gonna attack you, you're not gonna make yourself vulnerable. Anyways, you can play with lines other than just those 2 clammed in and convex shapes or lines. For example, here I drew 1,000,000 lines. The red line that goes diagonal on the top is the shoulder line direction, and the bottom one is your hippie direction. And I'll show it again once I kind of fix up the person. So, okay, here. So the red line is shoulder, the other one is hips. And yeah, that's body things. Now we can do face things, and it's probably what you care about the most. So these 2 lines coming from the circle show where the chin will meet, or where the chin is, and here, just filling out the rest of the face, there's a little ear. The ear lines up with the line in the middle, because I'll show you later, but your eyes line up with your ears. So also your head, if you feel the back of your head, just feel it now, it caves in and leads to your neck. It's not like straight from your ear and then straight down like a tree trunk. And your neck, that's your neck, and it's not like that. It's not 2 sticks. It's a bit more complicated, especially in anatomy. Anyways, okay, over here, I'm actually drawing the parts of the face, and I don't really have any rules about how to go about drawing it, but I do think there are some things that are kind of important to note or keep consistent if you plan on drawing the same style. So, sorry, sore throat. So here again, the eyes line up with the ears, I drew shoulders because I didn't want it just to be like a decapitated head. So that's the hairline, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I erased it. So they always say, oh, your eyes are always one eye width apart, but I don't do that. I do 2 eye widths apart, and we can do whatever we want because we don't listen to the rules. Because we're rebel children. Yeah. Anyways, this line shows where your nose and mouth are aligned, and those lines are your eyes and your ears where they are aligned. So that's a pretty good rule. And this is called the 3/4 view. Or I call it that, maybe 3/4, but whatever. And here I'm doing a profile view, which is like if you look at them from the side, if it was like one of those side mug shots. So same idea, circle thing, and it kind of leads down into your neck because there's a lump, and you can touch the lump on the back of your head again. I'm doing it now, right now, and it leads to your neck. And if you look at the area, the space between the eye and her nose bridge, it is actually 1 eye width apart, which keeps consistent with the 4 eye widths that I do across the face. Because if you flip it again, that's another eye width, so that's 4 eye widths. Keep it consistent if you plan on doing it. And you'll see that it's consistent in most of the things I draw. And the bottom of your nose, or the nose tip, lines up with the bottom of the eye. And then I thought it looked like Rudolph, so I turned it into a girl Rudolph. Because I don't really draw guys. So, yeah. This is called profile view. I wasn't really sure, so I paused the video and googled it, and yes, it was a profile view. And now, this is the fun stuff. We can get to the full view, like the front face. And honestly, I don't think that this should be your first approach in drawing anime, just because it's the hardest one to draw, and unless you're that kind of person, I don't suggest you do that, because unless the person you draw is perfectly symmetrical, the character is gonna look pretty wonky. And I mean, like, okay, my bet is that you're not Death the Kid from like Soul Eater. If you are, please talk to me. It'd be kind of interesting to meet you. But anyways, you need to keep everything symmetrical. And if you're doing it traditionally, that is especially hard because you can't resize things. Like, I can do this on a computer, kind of, because I can resize everything and erase things. But anyways, same rules, the line down is your nose and mouth, 4 eye widths apart, your eyes line up with your ears. Yes? Yes. Okay, great. Now, I thought we were gonna get into hair, but nope, we're going into eyes. So, eyes are really good, especially if you're doing digital art, because they usually say who the artist is. It's like their signature thing. That's how you recognize them. Like, I don't know, that's how I recognize Ocean. So, here are some examples of eyes. Eye shapes say different things about the character. Anyways, this is like when your eye closes, I don't know, touch your bottom lid and blink your eye. Your bottom eyelid doesn't move, but it's your top eyelid. So when you blink, the eyelashes should be at the bottom. In this animation here, the bottom of the eyes are always consistent. And here, I actually have the original frames. Now the reason why I'm pointing this out is because whenever I see a GIF, I usually see the whole eye move, and the eye and like the lashes end up in the middle of the eye, and I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's just my opinion. But for coloring references, I just feel like it's important to say that your eye is a ball, because it's an eyeball. And you have to treat it like a sphere. You know, in art class, they make you do that sphere thing. And you have this thick skin that we call your eyelid. And it casts a shadow, right? And then it casts a shadow on the whole eyeball, your iris, and the rest of your eye. I really like the eye trees here, by the way. Anyways, it's just because I see a lot of people only color like the iris, but they never color the white part of your eye. But you can't neglect the white part of your eye. It's so important. Like here, if you only shade that part of your eye, that's not nice. That's just saying the white part of your eye is in your eye. But that's right, because you shaded it. Also, because you treat it as one piece, the shadows line up. Because they're one thing, kind of. Anyways, now we can get into hair. And the hair is kind of like the fun stuff. Really, when you draw hair, you have this thing called the hairline. It's where your hair starts for your bangs. And then you have the area in which your hair parts. It's most of the time. Also forgot to mention that you have like a source of where the hair is coming from. And that is the spider thing that I drew there. So here I'm drawing it again because I got frustrated. And that's the source, and the hair comes from the source. That makes sense, right? You just do really quick lines, don't make it too sturdy. Also, there's space between the top of your hair and the scalp because hair is voluminous. And it's the same with bangs. It's like a general rule, I guess. So yeah, and erase the scalp when you're done. now we can apply what we have learned to Ryuko from Kill la Kill. I drew Nui, but I don't know, I always want to draw Ryuko because she's kind of cool. There's not much for me to say here. I'm just going with the anatomy. Here I realized that I drew a different kind of proportion style, so I fixed the proportions. But at the end of this really quick sketch, I'm going to go over a few things. But first, other important things that I want you to know. More like, I don't know, like a morals kind of thing. First of all, it's important for you to screw up when you draw. It's very cliche because it's said all the time, but you learn from your mistakes. And don't expect to learn if you don't screw up. Unless you're like that indigo child who just woke up and found out she can paint. I think it was paint. Then you're not gonna wake up and find out you can draw it. Like, it takes a really long time. Like, I don't know, I did this when I was in grade 2 and now oh my god, I'm going into grade 11. Anyways, so yeah, screw up. It's good to screw up. Also, if you're drawing digitally digitally as in you have a tablet, like I have an Intools 4 tablet for Wacom, or if you're drawing on some kind of computer or Photoshop or Sai in my case, you have this godlike power to resize things, so you might as well use it. But don't abuse it to the point in which when you draw traditionally with pencil and paper, you don't know how to draw because you can't resize things. Like, I guess don't grow too attached to it, because that's what I did and now I can't really draw traditionally. And that sucks, because I like Copic markers. But, okay, point is, practice traditional if you have digital as well. Traditional is really important. So here I'm abusing my power to resize things. And another thing that, like, I'm just guessing that since you're watching this video, you probably just started learning how to draw anime, or you just want to review things. And it's kind of hard to find your own style when you first start because it's like, oh, where do I start? Hey, I said start twice. Anyways, because when I go on DeviantArt, I often see someone who copies the style of another artist. Things like they're so similar and it's so annoying, no offense, but I don't want to see the copy drawings of an artist because that's their style. It's not nice to steal that style. So find your own style, and if you don't know how to go about it, what I suggest is that you go on Pixiv or DeviantArt, whatever thing, or like Tumblr or something, and pick a few drawings you like or artists that you like. Depict what you like about their style, and bring out those attributes into your own style. Like if you like the way someone draws their eyes, try drawing the eyes like that, but then try to mix it in with the way that another artist draws clothing, or another artist uses anatomy or something. And then you've just kind of created your own style, something unique and interesting. And if you keep working on it, you can modify it so you're more comfortable drawing in that fashion. And then you created your own style. So please don't be one of those copycat ghost things. Try to find your own style. Please. Thanks. So yeah, I guess that's all that I really have to say in regards to that. Now, getting back to my Ryuko sketch. Sorry, I'm very talkative, which is odd. Here's the anatomy, and here's the actual sketch. I don't show it, but I do follow the rules that I showed you, like the chin thing, and the eyes lining up with the ears, and the lines lining up with the nose and mouth, and 4 eyes across the face, and you know, the hair source and the hairline. You know, I still follow those. I don't show you, but I do follow them. So yeah, I hope this actually helps, and thanks for watching. So yeah, good luck!